You've probably tried to pull data from LinkedIn or X before. Here's why none of that scaled. You were doing it one platform at a time, one step at a time, with a different tool for each one. What I'm about to show you is how to scrape X, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn, all four, inside a single conversation in Claude Co-Work. And for each platform, I'm going to show you two different ways to pull data, by account and by keyword. Account scraping is useful for prospect research, and keyword scraping is how you do market intelligence at scale. You type what you want, Claude picks the right tools, and you get the data. The engine behind all of this is Apify, the largest scraper directory in the world. Hundreds of pre-built scrapers, every major platform covered. The reason this works so cleanly inside Cowork is that you give Claude one API key and it gets access to all of them. It picks the right scraper based on what you're asking for. You never have to go find the right actor, configure it, or even know its name. First off, we're going to need to connect Apify to Claude Co-Work. So I have Claude Co-Work loaded up here. I've added a new folder to this workspace, and then I'm going to go to the left and click Customize. Then on the left side, click Connectors and click the plus icon up here. Go to Browse Connectors. Search for Apify. You'll find the Apify MCP server. That's what you're looking for. Click Install, Confirm. While this is installing, let me go to apify.com. Click Go to Console. You should have signed up already for the free account. And that free account gives you $5 a month in credits, which should be more than enough to get you started. Click on Settings on the left, click API and Integrations, and copy your API token. Come back to Claude Co-Work, paste in that API token, and hit Save. Then go ahead and enable it from the toggle, exit out, and come to the Apify MCP server under Connectors, and make sure that all the read-only tools are always allow. Since we're just running some scrapers, we can set the write and delete tools as always allow too. And that's that. Apify is set up in Claude Co-Work. Now that I'm in Claude Co-Work, I've added a folder, and I'm just going to click the plus icon and make sure that the Apify MCP server connector is on. For the first step, I'm just going to confirm if it can see the Apify MCP server. Now that we know that it can see it, let's go ahead and drop in this prompt. Use Apify to pull the last 20 posts from these X accounts. Use a scraper that doesn't have a monthly subscription, and here are some accounts. So it found us a scraper, and then it's going to run it for us. And you'll see that it found the data, and it's going to format it and save it to a file for us. So it's given us a CSV file of all the posts that it scraped, along with the likes and reposts, and we also have an overview for us over here. Now, we don't have to search by accounts, we can also search by keywords. This is great if you're doing market research and you want to see what topics are trending in your niche. So let me drop in this prompt, and we're going to search for posts about Claude Co-Work from the last 30 days with at least 200 likes. Now, this is really powerful because earlier you would have had to use Apify either manually through the website or through an automation tool like Make or N8N, or manually through a script. And then you'd have to get the data and parse that data yourself. But because you're using it through Claude Co-Work, you're abstracting everything in between. Not only are you pulling the data, but Claude is also processing that data and giving you meaningful insights from it. One really amazing use case is for cold outreach. Using this tool, you can actually scrape what people cared about over the past few days and use that to really personalize your outreach. So instead of sending generic messages, you're referencing something that they actually said and cared about. So not only do we have top posts by engagement, but we also have patterns worth noting. Setup and how-to guides dominate, strong international traction, prompt list posts are everywhere and getting solid engagement, and a Microsoft Copilot Cowork announcement is circulating and generating buzz. This is market intelligence. You can see who's getting traction talking about your niche, what angles are resonating, and who's an active voice worth following or connecting with, all from Claude Co-Work. 2 prompts and 2 completely different use cases. Now that was X. Let's try TikTok. We're using the same formula, except this time we're referencing TikTok profiles. Let's hit enter. And you'll see that Claude is actually weighing the different actors against one another to see which one has the best results. It's gone ahead and found one, and it's going to run that scraper for us. Now, the reason this takes a little bit of time is that the scrapers themselves do take some time to execute, usually up to a minute or 2 minutes, depending on how much data you're pulling. And just a quick pause. If you're finding these useful, I put out a short insight every week on applying AI systematically in your business. The link is in the description. And if you want to work through your specific implementations with me directly, there's a link there too. All right, now let's keep going. So one actor timed out, which does tend to happen with Apify sometimes, so it actually went ahead and tried running that again. And if we go to Apify, you'll actually see that this TikTok scraper is indeed running, and it is taking some time for this to complete. Alright, so after a lot longer than expected, we do have some videos scraped and saved. We have them all in a CSV, along with the captions and the video URLs. Now, just like X, we could also scrape by keyword. Next up, YouTube. So let's go ahead and drop in, search YouTube for Claude Co-tutorial, pull the top 15 results, title, channel name, views, and publish date. Let's go. The YouTube scraper was much faster, so we have 15 YouTube results for Claude Co-tutorial sorted by views. Awesome. And along with the videos, we have some observations. Most titles lead with beginners and tutorial, and the newest entries are already pulling strong numbers despite being under 2 weeks old. So this way, you're not just monitoring a channel, you're actually pulling structured data from an entire keyword search results. And you can see the top performing videos across every channel at once, sorted by views. That's SEO research and competitor analysis in the same query. So far we've done X, we've done TikTok, and we've done YouTube. So let's drop in a prompt for LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a bit more protected than the other platforms because it has aggressive blocking built in, but Apify handles all the proxy rotation behind the scenes, so it just works. You don't have to worry about any of that. So we're going to search LinkedIn by profiles, but again, you could also search it by keyword. And since LinkedIn is a business outreach platform, this LinkedIn scraper is your outreach intelligence layer. You can open a cold message with something they actually posted about a few days ago instead of a generic opener. And that can be the difference between a 2% reply rate and something meaningfully higher. Obviously, you can also use these insights to form your own content posting strategy. Here are the top 10, complete with a like count and a comments count, along with the date that they were posted, so we know that most of these are fairly recent. And 2 profiles return no results. These guys had no public posts in the last month window the scraper was used. Alright, now that we have all of this data, we don't want to do these steps manually every single time we want to formulate our social media strategy. So what we can do is actually just tell Claude Co-Work. So what we can actually do is just tell Claude Co-Work to create a scheduled task every Monday morning to run all of these scrapers and provide me with an actionable social media strategy. Let's hit enter. Here is the task. Let's go ahead and schedule it. So it's scheduled for 8 a.m. on Monday. Amazing. Now every Monday morning, Claude Co-Work is automatically going to run all of these scrapers against all of these profiles with the keywords that we used, combine all of those insights into an actionable strategy document. So when you reach the office on Monday morning, you have your weekly strategy ready in front of you without having to do any manual work. And if we open up the sidebar and click scheduled, we'll see that we have our weekly social intelligence task, complete with all of the instructions. Perfect. So here's what we just built. We connected Apify to Claude Co-Work with a single API key and gave it access to hundreds of scrapers, all of them available through natural language. In this demo, we pulled content from X, from TikTok, from YouTube, and from LinkedIn. And then we batched all of that research and scheduled it for every Monday morning. Claude is handling the scraper selection. Claude is processing all of the data for you. You just have to describe what you want once, and Claude will do it for you every single time. What you have is a systematic research workflow, not just a one-off lookup, but a process that runs. Now, to make this even more powerful, you can combine it with the many other Apify scrapers there are to enrich this data even more and get even more insights. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a like, and do remember to subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content.